All right, please rise and face the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes? Seconds? Y'all quit, okay. Tonight we'll have a special presentation, so if Robin, Jay, and Jocelyn, would you come forward, please? Don't be scared. Oh, you sure? If I had known that, I wouldn't. All right. I just want to tell you how much we appreciate everything y'all are doing this month as relates to financial literacy, all the lives that you're changing and making a difference in our community. So before you today, I have a proclamation. Whereas financial health opened the doors to home ownership and opportunity. And whereas strong financial health began with a credit score of 700. And whereas First Tennessee provides Operation Hope to any individual looking to better their credit scores through financial programming and one-on-one counseling. And whereas First Tennessee has partnered with BrightBridge, Inc. to provide $500,000 for small businesses to access capital for growth and opportunity. And whereas the city of Chattanooga's strength comes from the positive health of small businesses, entrepreneurs, and home ownership for its citizens. Now, therefore, I, Erskine Oglesby Jr., Chairman of the Chattanooga City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of April as Financial Literacy Month. And thanks First Tennessee for their partnership for the difference they are making in achieving financial dreams for our citizens. Thank you. Okay. Would you like to say a couple words? Come on. Go ahead.
Impromptu, right? We appreciate the opportunity to come before you today, and we're so grateful that the city is recognizing these efforts. These are just some of the few things that we're trying our best to strive to do in the community. We look forward to doing bigger and greater things in this community.
Thank you for all you do. Okay, Madam Clerk, let's proceed with ordinances on final reading 6A.
An ordinance amending Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 4, Article 2, Rules, Regulations, Criteria, Standards, Section 441, Rules adopted relating to noxious odors and nuisances.
Councilman Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Move approval.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. Thank you. Before we move forward, thank you, Councilman Smith, for your hard work and your time and diligence in making this happen. And this is something that's going to make a difference to our city and to the workers that are involved. Thank you. Okay, it's been moved and properly second. Any questions? All in favor with the sign of aye. Aye. Opposed is nay. Motion carries. B, please.
An ordinance closing and abandoning an unopened unit block of West 50th Street as detailed on the attached map, subject to certain conditions.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Chair, this is in your district, with no objection from you, I move for approval.
Thank you. It's been moved and properly second. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed is nay. Motion carried. It's my gavel. I'm gonna do it. Okay, we've had enough fun. Let's get back to business. C, please, Madam Clerk.
An ordinance closing and abandoning the 2500 block of Tom Street and a portion of the 1500 block of East 26th Street as detailed on the attached map, subject to certain conditions.
Councilman Byrd.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay.
Aye.
Motion carries, regardless. I know. Relax, man. Okay. D, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 24, Article 14, Section 24504, relating to one-way streets.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposers, nay. Motion carries. Now we'll move on to resolutions. 7A, please.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a lease agreement with Dardanelle Long in substantially the form attached for the use of the barn on the Brown Acres Golf Course property for the keeping of animals as consistent with zoning with a rental rate of $200 per month.
Councilman Gilbert. It's in your district.
No, it ain't.
Oh, Burris?
She's got a lot.
Oh, 6, 7. Okay.
Move approval.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. Questions? All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposers, nay. Motion carries. B, please.
A resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Economic and Community Development, Division of Outdoor Chattanooga, to renew a contract with Civic Plus, Inc. for a management software system that facilitates online registrations and payments for city parks, facilities, and outdoor Chattanooga programs for the first of 2 available renewal terms in the amount of $12,500.
What's the pleasure? Been moved and properly second. All in favor? Opposers, nay. Motion carries. C, please.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute quitclaim deeds conveying 74 certain or certain combination of parcels in substantially the form attached to the approved highest bidders on jointly owned properties of the city of Chattanooga and Hamilton County as acquired through previous delinquent tax sales.
What's your pleasure? Okay, Councilman Ledford. Okay, thank you. Move to approve. Can I get a second? Questions? All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposers, nay. Motion carries. E, please.
A resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Economic and Community Development to accept and distribute fiscal years 2019 through 2020 Community Development Block Grant CDBG Home Investment Partnership Act Funds Home and Emergency Solutions Grant ESG from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development HUD and program income for a total approximate amount of $3,686,257.
Vice Chair Henderson.
Move approval, sir.
Been moved and properly second. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposers, nay. Motion carries. E, please.
A resolution approving short-term vacation rental application number 19 STVR 00014 for property located at 514 Cruzen Street.
Is the applicant present? Is the applicant present? Is there opposition? What's the pleasure? Councilman Mitchell.
Well, Mr. Chair, thank you. We actually received a phone call today from the applicant saying he had been called out of town and asked if we could defer for a week. And so I'm going to make that motion so we can hear from them next week, like a deferral for 1 week.
Okay, it's motion on the floor. It's been properly seconded. All in favor, with the sign of aye. Opposers, nay. Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir. F, please.
A resolution approving short-term vacation rental application number 19 STVR 00011 for property located at 1601 East 13th Street.
Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition? What's your pleasure? Oh.
First, would like to get a presentation from Caleb.
1601 East 13th Street, 19 STVR 00011. Here you can see a map of the surrounding STVR applications in process. The blue is the 1601. That is the property we're hearing today. The purple are currently approved and legally operating non-owner occupied STVRs. The green are legally permitted owner occupied, and that one little yellow guy is a non-owner application that is currently under opposition. Here is a satellite overhead of the property and some pictures. This is from the front, from 13th Street, down 13th Street, up 13th Street. And here you can see going up Holly, down Holly, side of the house and back. And you'll notice, not a great picture, but there's a gravel parking area there in the back. The process for the application so far, we received in January 16, got all the way through and emailed about signs and inspections. Letters were mailed out on the 18th, sign posted the 24th. Failed the initial inspection, as you can see, due to graspable handrails front and egress windows do not open. So that's the emergency exit from particular bedrooms and the handrails going upstairs. A few weeks later, there on 19th February, it passes inspection, which brings us here today, 4/16.
Thank you. Did you have any opposition to
Yes,
this?
we had one letter of opposition.
One letter of opposition.
Yes, sir.
Can I hear from the applicant?
Sure.
Okay, would like to come up, ma'am? How, have you talked, can you give me a little bit of information on how we got here to this and how it got started? And have you talked to the neighborhood association in Highland Park about this?
No, I wasn't aware about the Highland Park Neighborhood Association.
Okay.
But I got here because I'm moving to Seattle.
Okay.
So I'm not going to be able to be in the house as much as I originally was. So hoping to keep it and be able to afford it. So that's sort of how I got here.
Understand.
I spoke to the opposition. It was a confusing conversation, but the overview of it was that he lives like a block down and then across the street.
Yes, ma'am.
Or he's actually the landlord of that house, and he was recounting to me that he's in a like an argument with the city about the alley behind his house not being wide enough. And he told me on the phone that he would put the opposition in to try to get an opportunity to get attention about that matter, even though it didn't really seem related to my house. So in the end, there was something written initially in the letter about there not being parking in the street enough for us, but we've got 2 parking spaces on the property. And then he also asked me for a bunch of money to make him go away, so that was kind of weird. He's not here today, so that's the overview.
Okay, if you don't mind, Chair.
Yes, please.
Okay, just going to several neighborhood association meetings, that community is very hands-on when it comes to that community. If I do agree with the short-term vacation rent. I do understand that you're trying to hold on to your house and make a living. A lot of people in the community argue about affordable housing and that they need more affordable housing, but just because you don't make it a short-term vacation rental doesn't mean it's going to be affordable housing. You still have the right as a private homeowner to sell or rent how you please. But I would just want to give the courtesy to that president there. If me and you can talk to them and this week, if I can defer it for a week, if that would not hurt you in a sense, and we can revene next Tuesday. If you can't be here, I just want to let the Neighborhood Association president know of the situation so that you and her can have a conversation, and she can explain to you some of the things that she look at and how she feel about it, and we can go from there.
Yeah, I respect that. I'm already relocated to Seattle, so I flew in just for this meeting, and I can't fly back in next week. For
Yeah,
the
you
next
wouldn't
one.
have to.
Okay.
What I do is today when we leave, I'll get your name and number, and we can just
Okay.
do it over the phone.
Okay.
And I'll reach out to her so we can sit down and talk and get this thing to moving. So if it's all right with the council, I'd like to defer to next week, to the 23rd.
That's your motion?
Yes, and I move to defer to the 23rd.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. Any questions?
No.
All in favor by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposes nay. Motion carries, okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Deferred
I'll see you after
till
the meeting, okay?
23rd. Excellent. Madam Clerk, G.
A resolution approving short-term vacation rental application number 19 STVR 00013 for property located at 504 Beck Avenue.
Is the applicant present?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Okay. Is there opposition? Yeah, yes, Chairman Mitchell, Mitchell, yeah. Councilman. That's from. Okay, City Attorney.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Uh-huh.
At the request earlier, Mr. Bridger decided that he would provide y'all with a guide that gave the provisions of the city code and the provisions for minimum standards on here, so at least you'd have a fingertip reference. So Mr. Bridger asked for me to hand that out to you so that it would give you all authority when you needed it in connection with short-term rentals. I think it's a 3-page sheet for y'all to be able to review anytime you're making a motion on one of these.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Councilman, whenever I was on the planning commission, and I think Councilman Ledford can attest to this, it was recommended that whenever they were given or recommended approval or denial of any zoning request, that they sort of gave a reason as to why they were doing it, just not an arbitrary, I didn't feel like it today. And we were discussing this earlier in the day, and I asked Mr. Bridger if he could provide us with sort of some reasons as to give us some basis as to why we could deny a short-term vacation rental or why we might want to approve it. And basically, it's sort of just sort of a backup in the event that, I guess, any of these cases were to go to court. It would give us some, I guess, maybe a little bit of legal standing to stand on. I hope that helps.
Councilman Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Caleb, can you come up here, please, and just give us a quick presentation?
Yes, sir. .504 Beck Ave, 19 STVR 00013. Here you can see a map. Again, same as before, the blue is the property in question there in the center. Purple are non-owner occupied, issued, legally permitted. Red are somewhere in the process. They may be missing an inspection, or they may be waiting on the 30-day opposition period. The yellow are actively opposed. Green are owner occupied, permitted, and legal. Leave that up for a second because there's a lot. Satellite of the area and some pictures, front of the house. Kind of at a fork in the road there. So showing the up down. That's the opposite side, 180 degrees. That is up Beck proper. And again, a more open view of that fork. Their application history, 18th January, they applied, reviewed, approved, signed, notice went out. few days later, a sign was posted. A few days later, opposition letters mailed out. Failed their property, or initial inspection rather, again for graspable handrails front and back. And shortly thereafter, they passed inspection, which brings us here today to 416.
I believe we've had one opposition letter.
Correct.
I move approval.
It's been moved and properly second. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed is nay. Motion carries. Madam Clerk, H.
A resolution approving short-term vacation rental application number 19 STVR 00019 for property located at 1308 West 53rd Street.
Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition? Seeing none? Hit your button again.
There we go.
Councilman Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If there's no objection to you, this is in your district, I'd move for approval.
I have none. It's been moved and properly second. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposed is nay. Motion carries. Aye, please.
A resolution authorizing the donation of Hearst hydraulic rescue tools to the Tri-State Mutual Aid Association in the amount of $15,000.
Councilman Ledford.
Move to approve, sir.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposed is nay. Motion carries. J, please.
A resolution authorizing the appointment of Kristen Stanfield as a special police officer unarmed for the Land Development Office to do special duty as prescribed herein, subject to certain conditions.
What's your pleasure? It's been moved and properly seconded. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposed is nay. Motion carries. K, please.
A resolution authorizing the appointment of Michelle Lesniewski as a special police officer unarmed for the Department of Economic and Community Development to do special duty as prescribed herein, subject to certain conditions.
Which? Okay. Russell. Okay. It's been moved and properly seconded. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposed is nay. Motion carries. L, please.
A resolution authorizing the Office of the City Attorney to renew purchase order number 548221 with Arthur J. Gallagher Risk Management Services, Inc. for commercial liability, auto insurance, athletic liability, public official bonds, and other risk services for the first of 3 optional renewal terms for the period of April 17, 2019 through April 16, 2020, for an amount not to exceed $110,037.
Councilman Ledford, followed by Councilman Burrs, Council Lady Burrs.
Did
Okay,
you move? Second.
okay, it's been moved and properly seconded by Councilwoman Burrs. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposed is nay. Motion carries. M, please.
A resolution to confirm the mayor's appointments of Anka Rader and Sally Morrow to the Form-Based Code Committee.
What's your pleasure? Councilman Burrs? Hit your button again. I want to hear your voice. Hit it again. I want to hear your voice. Hit it. Hit it. Okay.
Are we good?
We're good.
Yeah, all right, move approval.
That's all I wanted to hear.
You got it.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded by Councilman Burrs and Byrd. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposed is nay. Motion carries. Next, please.
A resolution to confirm the mayor's appointment of Skip Pond to the Historic Zoning Commission.
Okay. Councilman Ledford.
Move to approve, sir.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded by Councilman Smith. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed is nay. Motion carries. O, please.
A resolution authorizing the approval of change order number 1, final, for JDH Company, Inc. of Chattanooga, Tennessee, relative to contract number Y170172201, replacement roofing system for John A. Patton YFD Center Building for a decreased amount of $6,500, to release a contingency amount of $30,000 for an amount not to exceed $307,705.
Vice Chairman Henderson.
Move for approval, sir.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded by Councilwoman Coonrod. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposes nay. Motion carries. P, please.
A resolution to amend resolution number 29696 so as to approve change order number 1 for Heron Construction Company, Inc. of Etowah, Tennessee, relative to contract number W15009-201, MBWWTP Control Room Upgrades, a consent decree project for an increased amount of $216,245.75 for a revised contract amount of $1,780,245.75, and authorizing $100,000 in new contingency for revised amount not to exceed $1,880,245.75.
Vice Chairman Henderson.
Move approval.
Been moved and properly seconded by Councilman Ledford. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposes nay. Motion carries. Q, please.
A resolution authorizing the approval of change order number 1, final, for Tri-State Roofing Contractors of Chattanooga, Tennessee, relative to contract number M17002-201, replacement roofing system for fleet maintenance building at Amnicola for an increased amount of $37,691.07 for a revised contract amount not to exceed $358,950.07.
Councilman Byrd. It's been moved and properly seconded by Councilwoman Coonrod. Questions? All in favor by the sign of aye. Opposes nay. Motion carries. R, please.
A resolution authorizing year 2 of a 5-year term for the on-call blanket contracts for professional services for the support of wastewater capital improvements program. Contract number W18001 for the 19 consulting firms listed below that submitted qualifications in the 6 different categories per their qualification package in the amount of $11.2 million.
Councilman Ledford.
Move to approve, sir.
It's been moved and properly seconded by Councilman Smith. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposes nay. Motion carries. S, please.
A resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to enter into the final 1-year agreement with Denali Water Solutions, LLC, for land application and beneficial use of Class B biosolids from the Moxie Bend Wastewater Treatment Plant as per the signed contract dated March 30, 2015, for an amount not to exceed $2.5 million.
Councilman Ledford.
Move to approve, sir.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any questions? All in favor by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposes nay. Motion carries. T, please.
A resolution authorizing the approval of change order number 1, final, for Cleanco Construction relative to contract number T17006-201, Community Development Block Grant Sidewalk Install Repair for an increased amount of $95,560.70 for a revised contract amount not to exceed $416,982.45.
Councilman Mitchell, followed by Vice Chairman Henderson.
Second.
Any questions? It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor with the sign of aye. Opposes nay. Motion carries. Now we'll move on to purchases. I understand that there's no purchases this evening? Can't hear you. Okay, there'll be no purchases to review this evening. Now we're going to other business. Is there any other business that need to be brought before this council? Then if that's the case, we'll move on to committee reports. Councilwoman Byrd. Councilman Byrd.
Thank you, Chair. Hello? Okay, thank you, Chair.
Got it? Okay. On the 23rd at 1:30, we will be having a presentation from CNE on affordable housing. And on the 30th of this month, River City will come and have a presentation at 3 o'clock concerning the Business Impact District.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Coonrod. Councilman Gilbert. Vice Chairman. Councilman Ledford.
Chairman, we will have a Planning and Zoning Committee meeting next Tuesday, April 23rd, immediately following the agenda session. This is a special meeting where we will be discussing short-term vacation rental ordinance.
Councilman Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have Public Works and Transportation Committee meeting today, and we'll have another one in 2 weeks following the agenda session.
Councilman Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On the 30th, we will have a Public Safety Committee meeting to go over the Police Advisory Committee legislation.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Now,
Excuse me.
at this time, we will recognize persons
Excuse me,
wishing.
Chair. I
Yes.
apologize.
Councilman Byrd. Get your, but, got you.
Got it. Okay, I apologize. Also, on the 30th at 1:30, the Women's Council and CNE will be presenting to us at 1:30 concerning predatory lending. So that's another thing that will be happening on the 30th. I do apologize.
No, no
The
need.
Mayor's Women's Council. Yes.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, we'll recognize any person wishing to address the council on non-agenda items. Mr. Attorney, would you please read the rules?
Yes, sir. At the end of every business meeting, the chair can recognize members of the public that wish to address the council on non-agenda items. These rules are applicable. Anybody wanting to talk needs to be recognized only up at the microphone. You can have 3 minutes to speak, address the council only upon matters within their legislative and quasi-judicial authority, and don't use any vulgar, obscene language, nor use the floor to personally attack or personally denigrate others. Please address your comments only to the council as a whole, not to any particular council member. And you can't be recognized more than twice in a 30-day time period. So anybody wanting to talk can come up now.
Thank you, Councilman. I tried to get in with your office.
Please
just-
state your name, please.
Oh, Mary Alice Crapo. And I called your office and I didn't get a response. And then I was told that in 2 weeks you're going to vote on the Airbnb being allowed in my neighborhood. And do I present that here or do I fill out paperwork at first? I needed to know.
And you.
I have an Airbnb house, and I found out it's not zoned. It's in Kings Point. Kings Point is one of the oldest subdivisions in Chattanooga, and it has a lot of farmland. It's been all grandfathered in, and it has a lot of land and vacant fields, and it's like there's no parking problem, and my house is all, zoned, and it has all the fire hazards are taken care of. So I just needed to know how I go about in getting y'all to approve Kings Point, because it's really important. My whole livelihood depends on it. I'm 65, and there's not anything else that I do, is it, have my rooms rented out.
Councilman Gilbert.
I can get with you after this, but unfortunately, none of 5th District is in that Airbnb.
Well, that's what I would like to do, is make a presentation, maybe next week, and
I'll get with you after the meeting.
after the meeting?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Is there anybody else would like to address the council tonight? Council? We are adjourned.